Oh, hey there. What's up to our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the mother-loving geek nation? Welcome to the Activator, Stabilizer, Switch, and remember that you are one.
Perfect balance. 7 days.
CultPop Podcast, episode 101. In case you didn't know, one of the longest running comic book and pop culture podcasts of all time. You're welcome.
Normally with hyperbolic statements like that, I'd be like, hey, don't check us. Check it.
Yeah.
Check it.
Look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
I've
tell
had a
because we
lot
have
to do with it. I'm kidding.
It's true, yeah.
It's your grandfathered in.
Where we
You
talk
have
about
been on all 1,000 episodes. So,
It's not true. I've listened to a lot of them. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I love
Listen,
you.
Hey,
we've had
look,
some drinks. It's been a day, and that's
nobody
okay.
needed drinks.
We're all here to hang out and have a good time, and also drown our sorrows in some fun. Listen, what I was saying is that we're here to talk about movies and comics and TV and arbitrary beauty standards and all the other things that scratch your sweet, dirty, nerdy little itches. We're coming to you live from Young Junk HQ, a bomb-ass podcast production space here in Manayunk, PA. Hey, Dylan.
What's
you're
up?
in the booth.
Yo.
Our trusty Dylan booth.
Dylan.
Yeah.
Is anyone's watching or listening, thank them.
Thank you guys for watching and listening.
And if they want to know more about Young Junk HQ, where and how can they get a hold of you?
Super simple. All you got to do is email me at this little email at the bottom of the screen. Yeah. Thank you, Noel. Thank you.
I want you to know that I watched one of the previous episodes and we were all doing this and there was nothing there.
Oh, yeah, that's why I know to go under the table. Like,
There was no...
I always miss. I'm like, is it here?
I'm your host, JD of Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex, located at 4327 Main Street, Philadelphia, PA, 19127, a rad-ass comic shop that sells you rad-ass shit. So get in here. With me tonight to talk is Noel
hi.
and Alice.
Hi, it's me.
Christopher St. Saucy is already in the chat.
Oh.
Can we answer that question much later in the show? He asked, who would your ideal self be played by if you were younger, you, actor-wise? Let's do that when we talk about the movie, but that's actually fun.
That is a fun idea.
Christopher, copy and paste that later, because
I'll
I will
remember.
forget to
I'll remember. It's
acknowledge
fine.
it.
It's fine.
Tonight we're going to discuss one of the most talked about sci-fi/horror films of the year, The Substance, as well as what we've been enjoying this week in a segment we call What's Poppin'. But before we do all that, a gentle nudge, a gentle reminder, if you will, that if you're here live, feel free to comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification so that you know when we're doing all this nasty fun stuff. And also, if you're watching this later, you could do that at that point too, even if it's not live. That's okay. We love a little back and forth. That's what I was going to say. So pipe up in the chat. Let us know you're there. And also, you can send us emails at cultpopgo@gmail.com. Speaking of emails, we got letters.
We have letter.
Oh, we got lots and lots and lots and lots of letters.
In the form of sentences.
This is from Christopher St. I am so fucked up.
It's Christopher St. Saucy. Good night, everybody.
Thank you. What can I say about Sleepy Hollow, ... except that it is my favorite Tim Burton movie.
Nice.
It was one of my early DVDs I bought and one of my earliest horror movies I watched.
That's a special place in somebody's heart.
Right?
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
What was your, real quick, I'm
Gateway
sorry.
horror.
What was your gateway horror?
Probably watching the original It, like way too young. Like I think my parents were watching it and they didn't know I was still awake. And I like walked in and I was like, why is this girl in the bathroom covered in blood from a balloon? I am intrigued.
What was your gateway horror?
Can I guess yours before I say mine?
Yeah, you're gonna be wrong. Go ahead.
Wasn't The Gate?
No.
Halloween.
It wasn't The Gate. It wasn't Halloween. Much like you, I was being babysat. And I was at the top of the stairs peeking down, and they were watching Nightmare on Elm Street 2 when he jumps out of the
my
pool
God.
and everyone like shit's on fire.
Yup.
Wait.
That was actually the first thing that I never should have seen.
That's a different question for me.
Oh.
That's the
okay.
first thing
Not-
I've
the
seen
gate-
that I remember
Are we-
seeing.
oh, okay.
Your
Yes,
first
you're right.
favorite thing. So the first thing I saw
right,
was
that's fine.
peeking behind the couch to see pieces of the two memories are
I was gonna
mixed.
say
It's
pieces. I was like,
The Fly, Cronenberg's The Fly, and the end of the first Evil Dead. My sister rented it, and I have visceral memories of the camera thing, the entity going through the woods and into his mouth and fade to black.
Yeah.
Like that is a memory.
but that's not your.
No, my gateway
that's
is
not your
Monster
bridgeway.
Squad.
Monster Squad. That's a good one too. Shit, maybe it was The Gate. You might be right.
The one that you felt not too scared to, but knew you were watching horror. That is your gateway horror movie.
I've told this story many times on the podcast. We had a bunch of us kids got together. It was a sleepover party.
Fucking
we
Creep
rented
Show 2.
We rented Creepshow 2.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. The one that you like, it's a horror movie, but you're not too scared of it yet. Like
Mine was probably Carrie then. That was the first one I saw.
there you
all
go.
the
That's
way
your
through.
gateway horror movie.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not the first thing you've seen. It's the one that like makes you a horror fan or wants to keep going.
It might have been Nightmare 3 then.
Gateway.
Because that was so cool.
Freddy's Dead was one of my because I was deathly afraid of Freddy, but Freddy's Dead was the one that I was able to watch during the daytime and thought was cool as shit.
Did you go into theater? Did you see it in
No,
the
I
theater?
was
Were you just a little baby boy?
Yeah.
I saw it in the theater and we had the 3D glasses.
I went from the time it was in the theaters to video. I was still afraid of the New Line Cinema logo in the theaters before. Why do you hit me?
Because I am agreeing with you.
The New Line, because they're hard too.
Sorry.
You're gonna have like Freddy claw marks on your arm now.
Hey, except it's my favorite Tim Burton movie. He continues. It was one of my early DVDs
in the
I
middle of
bought,
an email?
and
What?
one of my earliest horror movies I watched, and maybe one of the first Johnny Depp and Christopher Walken movies I watched.
Ooh.
The behind-the-scenes features on the DVD are
Together?
incredible.
Or
Watching them build the windmill and sculpt the tree really stick out in my memory. That's
cool.
In other news, if you want to get a hold of me this weekend, I will be spending Friday, Saturday, and Sunday working the Taylor Swift Eras Tour. I know that's probably not something you care about, but I
care.
can't
no,
wait.
we're down. We're Swifties.
I kind of,
I'm down.
I do be Swifting. I still, as of sending this email, haven't seen Venom or Conclave. I was too tired and slept through part of Venom and just left and went to work and then put off my showing of Conclave twice. I'm planning on seeing them both tomorrow night because I have it off. I can give a 4.5 thumbs up to Your Monster, though.
It's a lot of thumbs.
It's many
I only
thumbs.
got 2.
What's Your Monster?
It's a movie with Melissa Barrera that's like in limited things. I did
Scream.
see Venom, and I let them know that they don't have to bother, and we won't cover it. It's not worth.
I haven't seen Venom 2 yet. Let There Be Carnage.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either.
It's not a good movie.
Were there any questions here? No. Okay, good.
No.
Thank you for chiming in, Christopher St. Saucy. We did get your follow-up email, but it's about something we're talking about in just a few minutes, so we're just going to push that off till next time, if that's okay.
Yeah. We want to give our opinions before you give yours because it's mine.
Ever. We're going to move on to the next portion of the show, which I like to call What's Poppin'? When I ask my fellow cult poppers what has been poppin' this week for them. Hey, Noel.
Hey, that's my thing.
Not anymore.
It's all of our thing now. What was poppin' for you this week?
I popped a bit. So we have been watching just. I needed something that was completely unlike anything else to watch, something comfortable. And I found out that my wife has never seen this show from 2001, ran for 5 seasons, and was one of my favorites. It came back into my mind when we were putting together stuff, or pulling out stuff for a yard sale. Yeah. And I was going through all my boxes of DVDs and DVD sets in my basement and found stuff that I forgot I owned. And like some of it I may have put to the side of like, we're going to watch these soon.
Yep.
In that voice too, like the Jigsaw voice, like we're going to watch this soon. I want to play a game. And it's Alias. 2001 to 2006, 5 seasons, starring, what's her name?
Jennifer Garner.
Jennifer Garner, Bradley Cooper, Victor Garber.
Oh my God, Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper's on like 3 seasons of it.
Did you know Jenna Fisher auditioned for the role?
I believe that.
Yeah, and I think she made it like somewhat far. She's talked about it on the Office
that
Ladies podcast. It's
Dharma and Greg?
No,
Pam.
that's Jen Elfman.
Oh, wait,
Pam
what?
from the Office.
Pam?
Yeah,
I believe
she
that.
auditioned and she made it like
Auditioned for Alias?
yeah. She made it. She's talked about it a few times. They like joke about it on the Office Ladies podcast, and it was pretty funny.
I would
sorry.
love to travel to the multiverse version of our universe where Pam was the Alias.
And then she marries Jack Ryan.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Wow.
so I watched it. I want to talk to you.
Hi.
I'll leave. Sorry, guys.
So before streaming was everywhere, the only time you were able to watch the shows were either broadcast live, reruns 6 months later,
Yeah.
or waited for them to be on DVD and you rented the DVDs or you bought the DVD
I
set.
have a question. How old do you think I am?
No, no, seriously though. Like,
I know,
By the time
I remember
you had
this.
a job that you were able to pay for your own media, like
I was buying DVDs.
The model was already, yeah, but like I'm talking about like even 15 years ago, I was able to at least, no, not 15 years ago, 10 years ago, I was able to at least stream some TV shows on Netflix
Yeah.
before they were making their own.
Yeah.
This is even before that, where I had to go to Blockbuster and rent one disc with 6 episodes.
Yeah.
Or $60 for the whole season, save up, like scratch money to buy seasons worth of TV, and then you'd rewatch them because you had nothing else after that.
I would ask for Christmas for like my favorite TV show that year, just on DVD. Those would be my big item Christmas gift. Walking Dead, I got every new season that came out that year on DVD.
That's it.
American Horror Story was one of them for a while.
I feel like anybody that's maybe 3 to 5 years younger than you is just like, what?
Yeah.
Why would you do?
I still
that doesn't
have the
make any
DVDs,
sense.
and people are like, "Why do you have this? It's on Amazon." And I'm like, I keep it.
So I didn't discover the show until I think like 2 seasons in, and then watched it on DVD. I am noticing so many wonderful, weird things about normal network television versus how it is now and how decompressed it is. So, like, first of all, the show is about a double, triple agent for a CIA organization. It's twisty, it's turny. Just like all J.J. Abrams shows, it like inorganically, but still somehow works. It inserts like a quasi supernatural element into it halfway through that just kind of goes back and forth. But it's really, really engaging, and it's very, very cheesy in a very good way.
It. That was must see TV for me at the time.
The things that I'm noticing, so like we'll watch a season of Game of Thrones. It's incredibly decompressed. Not much actually happens, and they hold things for so long, and then you get to wait 2.5 years between seasons and a cliffhanger. Old network television went so fast. Like the plot actually moved. There's 22 episodes and they keep going and going. Sam and I, my wife has become hooked on it. I'm not going to talk about later seasons because she might be listening to this and I don't want her to know stuff that might happen. Because it's fun now. She's like, oh, I hope that character doesn't die. And I don't want to say one way or the other. I'd be like, it would suck, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Or
like knowing that maybe they make it. I don't know. But things happen and they happen quickly and they resolve things quickly. That's one thing I'm noticing, and I miss it. The other thing is, because there was no real rerun model, there was no way to rent it. You can't rewatch it and pause it again. Every like 6 to 10 episodes, there's a little bit of like a recap style episode. There's literally a whole episode called Q&A. It's like episode 18 of 22 in the first season, where in the plot, they create a way for her to have to explain some things that have happened previously to propel the plot forward. It's literally a clip show that's in context. You don't see that shit anymore. And I feel like people would like, and I remember too, I think everything about the first season, if I'm not mistaken, is resolved by like the middle of season 2.
Oh.
And then they move on to the next thing.
That's awesome.
The show just goes, and I miss that. I miss that so much. Like I don't necessarily like waiting 2.5 years between seasons of a show on Netflix these days.
No.
I don't care how pretty it is. It's like, if I have to watch 2 hours of recap to remember what the fuck is going on, like maybe we should change the model.
I own a comic book store, for anyone who doesn't know.
What?
And I will forget what has happened in a comic book that happened last month sometimes, and I'll have to be like, wait, what happened? Oh, right, of course. So like the fact that it's like multiple years now, no idea.
Yeah, I think Sam asked me like, hey, when's the next Stranger Things coming out? I was like, I think next year sometime. She's like,
it's already been like 3 years.
What happened in
hasn't it?
season 4? I was like, we'll watch a recap. Don't worry about it. Like, it's fine.
As soon as you mentioned waiting 2.5 years between seasons, I was like, Stranger Things.
Yeah, like they're all 45.
Yeah.
And so good though.
But look, I understand it's movie quality. I understand all that takes time. Maybe you should adjust your process or your writing process or 3 at a time or something in order to like make it not be 3 fucking years between seasons.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So that's
yeah,
what was
that's what I've been
popping
watching.
for Noel
Yeah.
Alias. 5 seasons. How many are you into now?
We're almost done with the first season,
Oh, okay, cool.
and we're gonna go.
Hey, Alice, give me one of. You've got 2 Poppins. I've got 2 Poppins. Mary,
all-
give me one of them.
I watched Creep 2 this weekend. So I felt like I didn't.
Sorry.
I didn't get spooky enough on Halloween. I love getting spooky. I usually do multiple. I know.
Only
I had
if you don't
post
believe.
Halloween sadness the next day.
And I usually do multiple like Halloween looks. Like I do my special effects makeup, and I just didn't have time this month, and I was really bummed about it. So I texted Costa one day on Halloween, actually at work, and I was like, Sunday, we don't have anything going on. I just want to stay at home. I don't want to go anywhere, and we're watching horror movies from the moment we get up until we go to bed. That's what we did.
Amazing.
It was incredible, and it made me feel spooky. Very loved. And so we started with I've talked about this before. I love found footage.
Oh yeah.
And I love Creep, the original Creep. So we started with that one because Coast had never seen it, and I was like, "You're gonna vibe with this." I was like, "Coast is gonna dig this."
It's a weird flick.
Yeah, I actually typed a prediction in my phone for Coast's reaction. I was like, "You're gonna want to be Peach Fuzz for Halloween. Like, you're gonna see this guy, and you're gonna be like, this is a fun little weird character to be." And I was right. So I wasn't planning. We were planning on watching Sinister right after that, but then we were like, you know what? Let's watch Creep 2. Yeah. And I really loved it.
So you hadn't seen Creep 2?
I hadn't seen Creep 2. I've only seen the first one.
Is Creep 2 the one that ends by the lake on the bench?
No.
Nope, that's
I'm sorry,
one.
Creep 1.
That's Creep 1.
Creep
Yes.
1 is that stuck with me
Creep 2.
so long.
Creep 2 has to do with a hole.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. And the girl.
Yeah.
He had like a fan.
The
So,
girl he's totally honest with her.
Yeah.
And she doesn't believe.
These are both
he's so
these
good.
are both available on Netflix.
Yes, both
1
on
and 2 are available on Netflix. There is a follow-up TV show that begins next week
Really?
on Shudder. It's called The Creep Tapes. It'll be found basically short films with Peach Fuzz.
This is great.
So
news for me.
the movies, isn't it like a filmmaker answers a Craigslist ad?
Yeah, he's a
follow her.
videographer, and the guy's like, "I'll give you $1,000 just to videotape me for the day." The original, they get there, and he's like, "I'm dying of cancer. I'm gonna die in 2 to 3 months. I want to make a video diary for my son," and he's off the bat doing weird shit, but this guy's just going with it because he's like,
Make $1,000.
yeah, making $1,000. It's for his son, and things get progressively weirder. And the second one starts with a woman who she has a like video YouTube channel where she answers weird Craigslist ads and like records her interactions with interesting people and just like tries to interview them. And so she answers one of this guy's Craigslist ads.
Yeah.
And chaos ensues, and it's really good. I really like this one.
They're both written by Patrick Bryce and Mark Duplass, who plays Peach Fuzz, and directed by Patrick Bryce. I don't know if he does the show, but we'll find out. We'll talk about it.
I'm interested. I thought there was going to be a third movie, but I might have been wrong. Okay,
Now,
so
just
I was thinking
like
of
the
show.
shows. I don't know how many episodes, 4 or 6, but they're all like short films, it seems.
That's fun.
The most interesting, or the thing that sticks with me the most about the Creep films is Mark Duplass himself. The actor who plays Peach Fuzz is so unassuming, and he seems so kind of charming and soft-spoken and just a little weird, but you don't quite expect it to go where it goes.
It's the kind of weird where he puts you off, but then you're feeling like, oh, I'm being too judgy. I need to give this guy a chance.
Yep.
And then you're in danger.
Yep.
So I watched before this. I know I watched The League when it was on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen a couple episodes.
So I know him primarily. I knew him primarily from that before Hannah Takes the Stairs and the couch trip and all his mumblecore stuff.
Costa recognized him from Zero Dark 30.
That too. He's done like you probably The Morning Show.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's in the
Yes,
morning show. Yeah.
But yeah, he's everything. Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. He's horrifying.
Christopher St. Saucy says, I think the show is fine, especially the first 3 seasons, Alias, and I like how it wrapped up. You are right. They wrap up the main contrivance of the first episode of the series, and then they end season 2 with a cliffhanger that propels them to the next season.
Yeah, back to Alias. The middle of season 2, the Super Bowl episode. They used to do a big episode, like whatever channel was having the Super Bowl, they would have like their premiere show right afterwards
Like,
because
big shit would happen.
50 million people are watching. They literally ended the 2-season long plot on the Super Bowl episode, but there were still 10 more episodes of the season, and they just created a new thing, and like the show just changed, which doesn't happen anymore.
Doesn't. So
What
do
else?
you recommend both Creeps?
Yeah.
Which one do you recommend more?
All right, Costa and I slightly disagreed. I loved both of them. Costa liked 2 better. I actually liked 1 a little bit better, just because it was Like I had no context going.
No
in.
idea where it was going.
Yeah.
Same.
1 is scarier, 2 is eerier.
Yes.
2
Yes.
gets under my skin, but 1 freaks me the fuck out.
Yes.
One, yeah, the
Yes,
last
you're
10
Yeah.
minutes of one
spot on.
They're both really good,
stuck
Yeah.
with me. Yeah.
Because like that last shot of the second one's just like,
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
I don't even remember the last shot.
oh, we'll tell you. We'll tell you.
Sorry, I don't
off
want to
mic.
spoil it for everybody.
What
Go
else been
watch
up?
it.
So one of my pop-ins this week
What are
was-
you popping?
Oh, thank you for asking.
Hey, what's your popping?
What are you popping?
What? Yeah. Hey, everybody.
Woman of the Hour is a movie that's on Netflix right now, directed by what? Canna Endrick.
Hannah Endrick, everyone.
Anna Kendricks. You're drunk. Woman of the Hour 2024 is a movie that I didn't know anything about. I just know I love Anna Kendrick, despite not remembering how to say her name correctly. And
It's Kana.
Kana Hendricks.
Kana Hendrick.
And
Kana.
this is a movie about apparently a true story that I'd never heard of.
Yes, I knew this.
We have talked about this several times on the show. Horror movies that deal with real life horror events. Did you see this movie?
I haven't. I know where you're going.
And you might not, right? You usually don't like fictionalized versions of true crime.
I
I'm
don't,
saying.
but I have opinions about this one that are differing from what she's doing something really cool with it.
Should we watch this?
She's not keeping any of the profits for herself. She's donating it to Rain.
She did already. Yeah.
She's-
So
yeah.
Amos.
so the movie the movie was premiered at TIFF,
Yeah.
the Toronto International Film Festival, and it was purchased by Netflix, and she donated all of the proceeds that was purchased.
Yeah.
God
I have thoughts when it's so she's telling the woman's story.
Yes, the victim.
Yes.
Oh, is
It
she the victim?
focuses heavily on the
I
the
don't know
victims
what
of-
happens.
The victims.
Okay.
We'll just say the victims because I don't
Okay.
want to
Yes.
spoil anything.
Yeah.
I will say that I had never heard of this story. I saw the trailer, and honestly, anything that has Anna Kendrick in it is an automatic. Like, I'll watch that.
Yeah,
I just find her so
I-
charming. She's so fun to watch on screen, and I'll just watch interviews with her occasionally because I just find her so charming. And so the fact that she was in this movie, I didn't even realize she had directed it until I pressed play, and was even more impressed. And the story is a woman goes on the dating game TV show back in the late 70s, early 80s. And I don't know if does anyone remember the dating game? If you don't know what it is, ask your great grandparents what it was. It was a show where a woman or a man would go on, a single person would go on, and then they would ask questions of 3 of the opposite sex that were trying to hook up with them. Like, hey, if I was a steak dinner, how would you eat me? Like the dumb, shitty questions. And so this woman goes on.
Everyone write in.
Yeah, if
your
I was a
answer to
steak
that
dinner, how
question.
would you eat JD?
Wait, with your mouth. So like, you mean how would you cook the steak?
That's up to you to answer.
If I was a
Noel.
steak dinner, how would you eat me? There's only one way to eat a steak, and
Is
that's
there?
by masticating food with your teeth.
I think that you
Maybe
are.
it's if I was a steak,
Not
how
thinking
would you
this through.
how would you prepare me?
I would blend
Maybe-
it up and drink it.
Or if I was a steak, how would I be cooked? Maybe like
Actually, I wouldn't eat it.
medium
I'm
rare,
vegetarian.
over well done.
What if I was a suppository?
a steak?
Suppository steak.
It doesn't dissolve. So
don't know.
no.
So
What is in your ass that a fibrous piece of meat, dense piece of meat would dissolve in your ass?
You know what xenophore?
You know
xenomorphs are made of?
that you don't have acid in your butt, right?
Isn't that
So
why it's
woman
called
of the
acid?
hour.
Maybe you don't.
That's why it was called acid.
Oh God.
So
oh, God.
anyway, this movie was really good.
Do,
I
do
really
you remember how
enjoyed this.
Cartman would stick food
That's
up his
what I was
butt to
referencing.
puke out of his?
Yeah, from South Park. Anyway, Woman of the Hour 2024 Netflix. Anna Kendrick is very, very good. I was really impressed with how she put this together. It does focus more on the victims of what was happening, and I didn't finish the story. She goes on a dating game show. She's an actress who's trying to get work. Her agent books her on this TV show she has no interest on being in, and then gets matched up with a serial killer.
Cool.
And that is sort of like the gist of the movie.
I'm down. I'll watch it soon.
Yeah,
It's on the
It's
list.
on my list. It is. I know. I've said I usually don't like. I don't like the glorifying of serial killers.
It is not
Did you
that.
ever see Zodiac?
Yeah, I like Zodiac.
That's a good because it has nothing to do with the killer.
yeah.
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 So yeah, highly recommend.
I
Woman
like
the Hour
stories
if
of
you haven't.
people hunting the killer. I like the woman's side of the story. I don't like when it's like, hey, let's ask Ted Bundy what he thought of his experience. No,
Yeah,
I don't give a shit.
I don't like that shit.
I don't care.
I'd read that book, but I don't want to watch that movie.
So yeah, if you haven't seen it, Woman of the Hour, starring and directed by Anna Kendrick. The guy who plays the serial killer is very effective. There's this wonderful switch that happens where like he'll be talking to a woman and she will make the most innocuous judgment on him or make a joke or something, and you can see the switch happens where all of a sudden you're like, oh, he's not charming anymore. So yeah, if you haven't checked it out, highly recommend.
I just realized, so like a sausage curtain peel away. Yeah.
Peek behind the sausage curtain.
Yeah, because you want to know how the curtain's made.
Yeah.
That's how the saying goes.
Yeah.
On the list we have the Penguin there. The last episode is Sunday. Let's talk about it next week as a
Can I
whole.
just
yeah,
say it's
I need
awesome?
to catch up. I need to catch up.
Like next week we'll add it to the show.
Yeah, great.
We'll talk
Yeah.
about the whole season.
I will
yeah.
say,
Amazing.
catch
Yeah.
up on the Penguin because it's fucking dope.
Yeah, we'll do that. Sorry. Real time. We're doing it live.
Did anyone else watch Agatha All Along?
I did.
I haven't.
Shut up.
Ah,
What
far
did
did you
you
get?
think
How
of
far did you get?
Agatha? Agatha.
Episode 2.
not even. I watched
credits?
The first episode. I watched the first episode, and I.
The show's phenomenal. It's
Yeah, I
absolutely
know it is.
phenomenal.
I knew it would be. I loved the first episode. It's not because I didn't want to watch it. It's just
It's so
life
good.
Has
It's
been
better
crazy.
Than, it's better than it needs
for a
to be.
month.
It's like really small but also huge, and the surprise endings. So like the last 2 episodes are like 1-2 punches of surprise endings, and you're like, and it recontextualizes the whole show.
It really does.
Really super solid. It's better. It's up there with like top 3 of the Disney Plus MCU.
There are people
Johns.
online who will, under a post about a show, be like, "Ugh, no one asked for this." And I'm pretty sure no one asked for this. But that does not mean that this show is not. This is top 5
If you
Marvel
only-
shows for me now.
That is the dumbest fucking thing to say. No one asked
yeah.
for this.
Nobody
if you
asked for
only
Iron Man
got what
movie
you
either.
asked for, you would never get anything new.
Hate that
Fuck
shit.
off.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, Agatha All Along. I love Catherine Hahn.
Yeah.
The more I see her, the more I appreciate her talent.
I love her.
She's so great. Have you?
You
have
know
you
what?
seen Mrs. Fletcher?
No.
God damn it! You got to watch Mrs. Fletcher.
Yeah. Catherine Hahn. Woo hoo hoo. Aubrey Plaza. Woo hoo hoo. Patty LuPone is who this show is for.
Yeah.
Patty LuPone is
Where
the
do
coolest
I know
fucker.
her from? All of a
from-
sudden, she's had a renaissance.
From 50 years of being fucking awesome in regards to like Broadway and film.
Broadway. Thank you. Okay.
Patty LuPone is the shit.
I recognize
and I'm
her. I
glad
know
that
the name, but I don't know.
other generations. Like if you want a good laugh, just look up anything of Aubrey Plaza and Patty LuPone.
Oh
'Cause
my God, they're
during
amazing. They
during
live
the
together.
filming. Yeah, during the filming they lived together.
They were
It's
roommates.
basically the same person, just maybe 30 years difference, and it's awesome.
Nice.
Like
There's a
Patty
funny
LuPone is the
interview
shit.
Where she jokes that Patty LuPone almost killed her. It's very funny. I'll let people look that up. It's great.
Yeah, and also too, she was the center of the best episode.
Yeah, she really was.
This is a wonderful show that's more creative than it has any right to be. You should watch it.
Not all of the Marvel
I
shows
will.
have been bangers, but this one is top tier. I was really surprised at how good this was.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
And I went in like kind of looking forward to it.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Yeah. So that's been what's been popping for us this week. We're going to move on to our main topic of review. It is a film called The Substance from
Starring.
Oh yeah. I got you. Don't worry about it.
starring Johnny Depp, Christina Ricci.
I was like, wait a minute.
The Substance from 2024 this year.
I phonetically put her name in there too. Sorry.
Farja. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's
Coralie Farja.
Corley
I never
Farja.
pronounced that right.
And this has a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. It is about a fading celebrity taking a black market drug, a cell-replicating substance. It's the name of the movie that temporarily creates a younger, better version of herself. Starring Demi Moore,
Margaret Qualley.
Margaret Qualley,
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis
and
Quaid.
he's so gross in this fucking movie.
He's also gross in real life.
Is he?
Yeah.
Wait, Dennis Quaid's gross?
Hardcore Trumper.
No.
His son Jack, though, Jack Quaid, who's
he's
Richie and
handsome.
Scream, he's great.
Also, the other
IRL.
Quaid is a weirdo.
Oh, Randy
Randy.
Quaid. He's been a weirdo since like 1994.
So basically, The Substance hit my radar maybe a month or two ago, where people just started talking about it, and I was like, oh, Demi Moore's making a resurgence. That's nice, good for her. I didn't really know much about the film other than There was some hubbub, some hullabaloo about it, and it was getting some good press. And just really the two actresses who were in it, Margaret Qualley, who I really liked in Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and then been a big Demi Moore fan
like 2 scenes
for a long time. Oh yeah, she's the girl who Brad Pitt picks up in the car.
Oh, okay.
She's the bait.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's the Quentin Tarantino feet up on the dashboard.
Got it.
Yeah.
I'm with you now.
Yeah.
Who was it? It might have been your wife that said something about when you guys saw it. I hadn't seen it yet. Something about like, yeah, if I want to watch foot porn, I'll watch it at home. I don't have because that movie has so much foot,
Yeah.
like full frame, just Margot Robbie's dirty feet on a chair while she's watching a movie. Like,
You say that like it's a bad thing?
I say that like
Margot Robbie's dirty feet?
I say that like
Put some respect on her toes,
I
brother.
say that like Quentin Tarantino needs a new bag of tricks.
He does. So anyway, what did you guys think of The Substance? Were you looking forward to this movie, Alice?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was very intrigued. Mostly because I couldn't really, like, I mean, I got the gist of it, but I couldn't see where it was going, like from just the little snippet that I saw of a trailer. And I was excited. I was hearing a lot of buzz about it.
I was a little surprised to hear how far it goes. People were really sort of laying like in hushed tones, were sort of like, man, it gets gross. And I was like,
I don't even
really?
know if I
Demi
saw
Moore?
a trailer or anything. I just saw the poster of her lying on the bathroom floor with the stitches up her back.
Yep.
And I was like, all right, I'm into this.
Were you looking forward to this, Noel? What did you hear about?
Yeah. Well, first I heard about it was, I want to say like 6 months ago. I saw like that first trailer before it showed up at a bunch of festivals, and it just looked aesthetically very pretty. You know, like the movie is set in modern, like it's a heightened modern reality where it's like they have cell phones. It's modern LA, but they all still do things with newspapers and tube television, and like it's this weird. It's like the version. It's like a version of Batman the Animated Series where it's like it's modern, but there's also blimps and no cell phones and grills on old-timey cars. So like it's this weird mishmash of Hollywood and like who the fuck watches fitness in the afternoon and live television, like stuff like that, like it's
style,
but it's modern. So like I loved the aesthetic, and then I love Demi Moore, so I was like this is cool. And like if you ever saw the previews, it's just smash cuts and voiceover of like weird stuff and big words. So I was like, this is either going to be cool or just absolutely annoying.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I'm in. And then I heard a bunch of people talking about it. It's their favorite thing ever.
Before I
Were
get
you
to
looking forward to this?
I was. Nice. Yes, because I like Demi Moore. And also, I didn't realize that this was directed by the woman who directed Revenge.
Yeah.
Of 2017's Revenge. I think I saw it on Shudder.
Yep.
If you haven't seen Revenge and you like a good for her movie, Revenge is awesome.
If you still have your movie trial, it's on there.
God.
Okay.
Revenge is awesome.
Also, too, if you go to cancel, which I did today, they're like, hey, why don't you stick around for 30 more days? I was like, okay.
Damn.
Maybe I will.
So yeah, I think we all got
Sure.
to watch The Substance. I think we all got trial versions of Mubi so that we could watch this.
That's right. MUBI. It's a wonderful streaming service. It is. I was telling Dylan before we started recording. It is a streaming service created for college course film nerds.
Oh.
It is all incredibly like they categorize movies by like foreign auteurs and
Oh my God.
did you not like scroll through it and check it out?
No, I haven't.
No, I didn't.
Yet.
It is so it's up its own ass in the best possible way.
Love that.
Like David Chen, it's probably his favorite thing ever. Right?
Okay.
Like it's very, very
Slash film.
it's not inaccessible, but it's very, very film language forward as a model, and it's just kind of really fun.
Yeah, maybe I'll dip around on that.
Do it.
So yeah, I was really looking forward to this. All of the hubbub made me really excited about it. So yeah, what did you think?
I think all the hubbub was warranted. I think it's really, really cool. I think it's gross.
We're not going to spoil anything.
No, this is
just
no
yet.
spoilers. Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
let you know when we're going to spoil.
I think it's this is weird. I enjoyed it. I liked watching it. Most of the time I was laughing along with it like it wants me to. But it's not a surprising movie. It's surprising in how far it goes, not in what actually happens.
Oh
Same.
yeah.
It is so fucking on the nose in regards to how it's like treating this allegory.
Yeah.
And it's so on the nose as to how you know it will end. There's no surprises in this movie. It's the only surprise of this movie is how far it goes to show you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Not what happens. And I do appreciate that, but I also I don't know who I will recommend this movie, but only specifically.
Oh yes. David Cronenberg fans maybe, and also Trauma fans.
Trauma fans. I didn't know that we'll talk about it in spoilers.
Okay.
But ask me about the third act and what I thought about
We're gonna talk about
what I
the
thought
third
about the
act.
whole time.
What did you think?
I really liked it. Same as you. I wasn't really shocked by what they were doing, more how they went about showing the message they were kind of getting across.
Being the woman here.
Yes, hi. I'm the woman.
The woman.
Can I have like a little blurb under me?
Yeah,
The woman.
The woman. Or it's like,
Yeah.
so this movie is very, very much about arbitrary beauty standards.
Yeah.
I was watching it knowing that I could empathize only so much.
I'm sorry. I realize you're looking at me because I was making a face. I was reading a thing that surprised me with the trivia about this movie. I was alarmed and surprised by something I didn't realize. Go ahead.
You might as well say it.
Is it Ray Liotta?
Well, okay, so Margaret Qualley
Oh.
is the younger version of Demi Moore's character in this.
Yeah.
She revealed in interviews that her breasts in the movie are not her own. They are prosthetics,
Yeah.
which I had no idea.
Have you seen her in real life?
I saw her in other movies.
Yeah, they're not real.
Did I see her? Did I see her breasts in other
I
movies?
mean, you could just see her in a shirt and know that they're not real.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, they were pretty neat.
There's
Fakies.
Speaking of arbitrary female beauty standards,
Yeah.
fake boobies.
well, it was just like the Tom and Pam and Tommy TV show.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I've never seen that.
They made the actress look like
yeah, with
like
Lily James.
Lily
Lily
James.
James.
Yeah, they made her look like Pam Anderson
Yeah.
naked. It was all prosthetics. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, sorry.
No, you're totally
So
fine. Kidding.
I knew I was watching it, understanding, but I mean, I'm privileged in regards to that paradigm. Did that work on a different level than you did? The only thing that I can compare it to is that episode of, which I think I could track back to a lot of emotional and body image issues I have, is the episode of Tales from the Crypt.
Which one? Go on. You've got my attention.
The old rich man who wants Kelly Preston to love him for who he is. So he gets a bodybuilder to donate their torso to him. He puts his brain there. And but then she sees him in a bathing suit and his legs are old.
leg day.
So like he essentially yeah, he skipped leg day. He essentially
For
uses his
80 years.
entire fortune to look like what he thinks she wants.
Yeah.
But then, because she's in love with me, but then at the end she just ends up going out with the bodybuilder or with the rich guy,
Right.
Because he's old, but the bodybuilder's brain and the rich guy. So like it was really just the money,
Right.
not his physical looks.
His physique, yeah.
She was, yeah. That's the only thing I can compare it to. The idea of like, but that was just comparing money and physical looks versus this, which was basically an entire apparatus judging you on what you look like.
Yeah.
Which is Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
From what I
mean,
understand.
Just
I think it's
lot
just
of-
existing.
yeah. It's girlhood existence. Yeah, I felt that even when the main character, Demi Moore's character, Elisabeth, turns 50 and they're like, all right, we're done with you. I have been told since I was 25 that like everything's going downhill
Yeah.
and that
By who?
yeah, everybody.
By other
Society?
women?
No,
or-
men. Other men like, oh, it's going downhill from here, and I'm just like, all right, I'm 25, like, and then fucking 30 hit, and people were like, when are you getting married? When are you having kids? You're rapidly declining. And I'm like, yeah.
How are you surprised by this?
And it's like,
because I understand that there are shitty people in the world, but I'm a little flabbergasted when I hear that people say things directly to other people. Like I am used to people being shitty on the side, I'm a little surprised when people will say a thing directly to your face.
Baby boy, they don't think they're being shitty.
They don't. And that, like, yeah.
That's the problem. Like, we are accepting it as a society that there are certain benchmarks, there are certain standards, and when you don't hit them by a percentage, it's like, hey, I know you wanted to wait to family plan, but when are you going to do it? Like shit like that. Like, they think they're being...
someone
even like subtle things like
Probably
so
not.
I've studied biology most of my adult life. I have an undergraduate degree in biological sciences and a master in biomedical sciences. And every time we're talking,
brag.
what? Humble brag. Listen, I want to humble brag today. I've had a rough day.
Yeah.
No, you know what? That's not a humble brag.
I am a
That's
woman in
fucking
STEM.
brag. Let's
Let
go.
me fucking brag. Yeah, I'm not being humble about it anymore.
No, not
Fuck that.
anymore. Can we get a chyron of her credentials every time she speaks?
Yeah.
I want to.
The woman.
Woman host. Woman : host credentials. Yeah.
Every time without fail, we cover anything in cellular biology or just any kind of anatomy, physiology where we talk about women's reproductive system or just everything. Where like people will make offhand comments about like, oh, ladies, your biological clock is ticking. And it's just, they don't even think about it. And it's just like, it infuriates me.
That's a different viewing experience for a movie like this than we would have.
Yeah, I just like, I was like, yeah, I feel this, even though I'm 20 years younger than the woman in the movie. And like, yeah, people have told me, like, wow, like I told them I was turning 30, you look great for your age. I'm like, I'm young. I am a young woman. Like, yeah, change it from the woman to young woman, please.
Yeah.
Please.
The youngest woman.
Yeah.
Chris says she's naked in several scenes of that movie with Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons, and Willem Dafoe.
Kinds of Kindness. Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Sam gets it.
Sam says women are called cougars for dating younger men, but men are called awesome.
Yeah.
My ex started freaking out when she was turning 30. I'm still in grad school. I'm not married. I don't have any children. I was like, WTF? Where's all this BS coming from? Says Robert Monroe Jr.
Society.
Pink Apocalypse had mentioned the breasts of Margaret Qualley in this movie earlier, and that they were too pink. The nipples were too pink. And yes, the breasts looked different than reality. I just thought they were sort of maybe airbrushed. I didn't realize
they
it
look
was
very
full
realistic.
prosthetic.
I see you now. Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought they were airbrushed. Anyway, the pressure only ratchets up in your 40s, says Pink. Then people get super weird when you hit your 50s. People act like you're broken and have no reason to exist, which is a lot about what this movie is touching on.
There's a part that I want to talk about when we get into spoilers.
Okay.
Touching on.
I think one of the things that was kind of bothering me a little bit about this movie was it occurred to me that this is a movie that is asking for sympathy for the incredibly gorgeous. As opposed to people who are like, they weren't gorgeous to begin with. But like, oh no, you were gorgeous 20 years ago and now you're slightly less gorgeous. Boo hoo. As opposed to like, not everyone kind of has that to start with that anyway, you know?
That's interesting.
I have a slightly different peeve with the movie, or at least a wonder. But before I do, I want to jump in there. Pink mentioned, she did not mention breasts. He meant
maybe that was
no. Chris mentioned pink breasts.
Pink breasts.
Not
breasts
you mentioning
were too
breasts.
pink.
Also,
not that they were yours.
Sam C said, "I was the first woman in my family who wasn't married and with a child by age 26. I'm 40 now and child free. Didn't marry till 36. You know what? That dude must be really lucky."
It's you. It's you.
Anyway, sorry. I wanted to make that joke.
Yeah.
I love it. Can I make a comment about the beautiful people thing?
Yeah, of course.
That's an interesting take. I didn't think of it like that. The way I was reading it is men only see women as having beauty to offer. Like they didn't see anything beyond her surface level, what she could do. She was in amazing shape in her 50s. She worked hard to get that way. Yeah. And
it was her career.
It was her fucking career.
Yeah.
And they were still like, well, you're not quite as like my standard of beauty right now, so we need someone younger and hotter. And like, even though she had an impressive resume of other things,
an Oscar winner,
the
character herself is an Oscar winner.
Like, you're not hot anymore, or you're
Yeah.
not as hot as you used to be, even though it's fucking Demi Moore.
Yeah. The other. Let's verge into spoilers. I think we all liked it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, I liked 3/4 of the film.
Okay.
A lot. I was super into this movie until the last 20 minutes. Let's get into spoilers starting now.
Okay. So, how do you guys feel about Pretty People? I think, first of all, I don't think the movie would function as it is, or at least Qualley would not be able to tell this story unless it was from the perspective of pretty people.
Sure.
That's the whole point of it.
Yeah, no, I understand.
It's a completely different story if it's like an ugly person becoming pretty. Second, how did you guys feel about the choice for she's given this chance to basically just hyper repeat the same mistakes? What does that say? What's the story saying when it's basically just repeating the same recklessness and or feeding into the same system of standards that are arbitrary that put her there? And that's the fucking story.
Yeah, it's not like she has this chance and then makes any changes or tries to subvert the system in any way.
It's a spiteful recreation of like almost
youth.
like revenge fantasy, but then she becomes the victim. No, not even, because she keeps doing it to herself.
You would think some sort of like it's a thing we keep bringing up recently, which is a good for her genre, and there's nothing really good for her in this movie
isn't
at all.
that, no.
Which is kind of what I was expecting a little bit of her to be like. Wait a minute, hold on a second, hold on just a tick. This isn't the way it's supposed to be. Like, no, she's in it the whole time. Which that's an excellent point. I didn't really think of that.
My take was just the point of it being repeating the same mistakes is like women can't win. Like in this beauty standard industry, whether she was trying to age gracefully or doing this insane substance procedure, she still couldn't win.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I agree, but then I think back to the best scene in the movie, which is Demi Moore getting ready for a date.
Yeah.
I love that. It's so heartbreaking.
But that is like the emotional
done that.
the emotional core of the entire movie, like the panic attack. Like I've had panic attacks not wanting to be outside because I can't figure things out.
Yeah.
That was just
Not stood up a date. I haven't done that. I just meant like in the mirror and I'm like just staring at my face for too long, and then I'm like putting on makeup, swiping it off because it looks weird, and like I just stare in the mirror for too fucking long, and I nitpick at everything, and then I just cry and I don't go out.
I have a
scene broke my heart.
I have a rule with Sam, like I'm not going to get ready until 2 minutes before we have to leave, because if I'm sitting and waiting, I will change and freak out and not think about it and want to go. Like, so I literally will sit in my underwear until her makeup's done and we're ready to rock. I'm like, I can't pre-get ready.
If that's too much, I'm just like staring at myself and I'm like, everything's wrong.
I will be walking out of the house and be like, "Oh, honey, do I look okay? I didn't really even look in a mirror."
Good for
like,
you.
You look fine. I'm like, okay.
Good for you.
I'm getting
you look
there.
like shit.
I'm getting there, but it used to be
I just
bad.
don't care that much, I guess.
Word.
Like I don't think I have a high enough self-esteem to even care that much.
It's not
I'm
about,
just like, well,
it's not about self-esteem. It's about not wanting to be seen. You don't have that muscle. And that's different.
Sorry, we're just talking about
Trauma?
men making stupid comments on your appearance. So I've started to just walk out the door and care less when I'm going to work because nobody sees me.
You're gonna wear someone's skin later. You don't know.
That's not what I do. Don't put that on the internet.
Fine, you just like wear.
Not at your job.
But I know that you do. You have a teeth jar, right?
Like 4 teeth.
None of this is true.
Sorry, Moroccan shukas.
Being slandered on this podcast. I'm the woman. Look at my
Of teeth.
I'm the woman.
Go ahead.
I am woman.
Hear me, shuka.
Credentials, skin suits. You don't know. Sorry.
I work in a morgue.
Yeah.
And so
I don't.
Nothing.
Nothing we've said doesn't comport with what you do for a living.
Yeah. I wear a ton of PPE at work, so if I go in wearing makeup, I'm going to sweat it off by the end of the day anyway, so I just don't bother. Yeah. There was one day I was talking to somebody came into the office, and I had to talk with him, and I had to sign paperwork, and I know! So they're not getting fired!
It's cool. We're popping off. You got this.
I was like signing some paperwork for somebody, and this dude, while we're standing in a morgue, was like, "You should really get your nails done." And I'm
did you have a sharp object on you?
No, but I was like,
wish you did.
Oh, I do the autopsies. They never complain back there about my nails. He was just like,
wait,
oh.
Was he
so weird.
Was he so fucking attractive that he you can't breathe around him? Then he should shut the fuck up. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, even if he is, you should shut the fuck up.
I was like signing a form, and I'm like,
but
why are you looking at my fingernails?
only like an aesthetic god can maybe even remotely think in their brain to that's okay.
So weird.
No.
Pink says, I've been repeatedly let down with new horror movies lately. I have never even heard of Creep before.
Oh, yeah. Watch it. It's great.
Watch Creep.
I just added it to my queue. Fingers crossed.
It's fun.
Creep. It's good.
Robert says, a lot of people in that industry are all about the surface. They've accepted that for themselves, and they judge others on their looks.
Mm-hmm. And Sam says I'm going to be fired.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Because of your
and you know
job.
what? If they do give you 2 weeks, get as much teeth as you can.
Yeah, just we do call her the tooth fairy.
Just get as many teeth as so you can, as Sam says, smile more.
So Demi Moore said she was nervous about filming full nudity. She's 61.
Yeah, she's 61.
The character was just turned 50. And she's 61, Demi Moore, and felt vulnerable, but she credited co-star Margaret Qualley, who is 29, making her feel comfortable on set. She also performed totally naked. Moore said she found someone who was a great partner who I felt very safe with. We obviously were quite close, naked, and we also got a lot of levity in those moments at how absurd those certain situations were. I have to say, I was also surprised at... It's so dumb. I don't know if it's misogyny on my part, but being like, good for her. Like Demi Moore being her age and just being fully nude in this movie. I was like, oh, it feels shitty of me to think, oh, that's brave. Is it?
Well, first of all, doing that at all is brave. Mm-hmm. Any person.
Yeah.
I remember doing that is brave. Any person that wants to, for their art, reveal themselves. It's awesome. As long as it works in what it's supposed to be and it's not coerced. But we say it's brave because it's scary.
Yeah.
That's fine. But if you're saying it because, oh, they're old or, oh, they're not Playboy models, then that's disingenuous and or shitty. So
I wouldn't want to be naked now. So the fact that she's doing it at 60 is even more impressive.
It's your intention. It is brave.
Yeah.
The intention of, oh, you don't see old ladies naked in movies. That's the wrong perspective in regards to nudity and how it's approached. Like I think of 15 years ago when that movie came about Schmidt. Do you remember that movie
with
Kathy Bates was nude?
Yep.
You do not
got so much.
She got so much shit for
ridicule online.
And it was that character did that in that moment. That's fine. Nudity does not have to be pornography, and I think that's the point. Yeah. Let's talk about this actual movie, though. Okay.
Yeah.
Feel a certain way about they repeated the same mistakes. She just kind of put herself back into the system on a speed round of depravity. Learns nothing. When the movie goes full tilt.
Yeah.
Because they start to sabotage each other. The rules. Substance or the activator. And then, what is it? The activator, stabilizer. So and then the switch. And you have 7 days, period. And you have to switch after 7 days or you terminate the other. Or you can never terminate yourself. You can only terminate the other because she is the Matrix. I was like, okay. You go through this system, they start to sabotage each other. They start to break the rules with each other and they start to damage each other. It had like a catty vibe, but with yourself, which I thought was really good. But then when the movie goes full tilt into body horror, I was surprised how far it went, but then I also felt like it has to go this far because they kept one-upping themselves, and it's just like, yeah, it has to end like fucking Dead Alive with body splatters everywhere and goop everywhere. It like, what do you actually do after that? You have to like see it to its ultimate conclusion.
I am of two minds. I've been warring with myself about the finale of this movie, which is the last maybe full 20 minutes, I want to say. Is that as long? Is it that long? Where things
Probably.
kind of kick into high gear?
Probably.
And when the body horror starts to happen and just escalates out of control. And I thought, this is getting too silly. I thought everything up until this point was heightened but serious. And then when they start doing this body horror stuff to the extent where she is stapling a picture of her own face onto her body,
Copy of a copy, baby.
and then things are bursting and exploding and skleetzing everywhere. It just felt so over the top and so silly that it was hard for me to take it seriously at all. And it sort of brought me out of the drama of the film and everything that had building up to this point, that it just undercut any of the feelings I was having the entire film. Because I thought, man, the performance in this is so great. The performances in this are so great. It is heightened in the fact that Dennis Quaid is just disgusting. He's always eating, and the camera angles are so close. The close-ups are so kind of almost in their pores.
Yeah, but his suits were on fire, though.
Yeah. That it just, the fact that we went this far kind of ruins the movie for me.
Oh.
But then I go, there's no other way for this movie to end where I wouldn't go, yeah, saw that coming. Duh. This is the only version of this movie where I did not see all of that coming at the end. So I was surprised by it, and any other ending would have made me go, yeah, all right. It was a Tales from the Crypt episode. I knew how this was going to end in the beginning of the movie, and I did not get that ending. So I'm of two minds, because it's like when I hate trailers, but then I go, but would I have watched the movie if I didn't see that trailer?
My viewing experience was completely different. I did not think it was serious the whole time. I thought that there were wonderful performances in this obviously heightened farce.
Which I say it's heightened, yeah.
It's a farce.
Yeah.
The movie is a farce. All of it. Like from the moment she walks down a hallway and it's huge with
What a
giant
great
pictures.
shot.
But the whole thing is a farce.
Yeah.
So instead of it being this important story about beauty, it is a farce with incredibly taken seriously performances within it. So I did not feel that there was a whiplash.
I see.
It was an escalation.
See,
personally.
the first three quarters of this movie, I was equating more with, Requiem for a Dream.
Oh, no. I didn't get those vibes. I didn't even think about that. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
A lot of this felt like Requiem for me. And then at the end, it becomes the Toxic Avenger, a trauma movie sort of nonsense.
I haven't seen Requiem for a Dream in a long time, but
It's awesome.
I'm having trouble with that. You mean just like shot
It's
style and
Yeah. The way it's shot, and sort of the addiction elements to it, and how far one can take an addiction, and the different types of addiction.
interesting.
But then it just becomes like wet puppet movie at the end.
Yeah, to me, okay. Yeah, no, I can see that. Requiem for a Dream is just a straight tragedy. This is a farcical allegory using science fiction and body horror. So like the fact that I got a phenomenal Demi Moore performance in the middle of it was like a treat, not I'm watching an Oscar movie until it goes crazy. So like I didn't have that brain switch. I didn't have that switch in my brain. More of like we're going bug nuts. Okay. I feel like it's the only way it could go. What about you?
I feel like I was more similar to your line of thought. Like it felt just heightened and exaggerated the whole movie. And so the escalation seemed like the natural course for me.
Yeah,
like not out of nowhere.
as soon as we were getting snow on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, I was like, okay, This
Oh,
is
so that's not where it did.
this is farcical. Yeah, this is a farce.
There was snow. I don't remember that.
The whole
The
the
opening.
movie begins with the Walk of Fame.
Oh yes.
And
Oh
there's-
yes.
There's snow in L.A. and like
The passage of time.
I didn't even
also
clock that.
also there's no other stars. Those
Yeah.
are never alone. Like every other panel is a star. So it's just like, okay, this is like a old timey Hollywood fade in fairy tale.
Robert Monroe Jr. is in the chat saying Substance was like if John Waters and Cronenberg made a movie.
No, this is like if John Waters remade a Cronenberg movie. They didn't collaborate on that.
I think that's pretty good.
No, that's really good. It's like a Cronenberg movie happened. John Waters
People
made
walked
a
out.
social anagram of it.
He continues, a few people walked out when I saw it. That does not surprise me.
No, not at all.
I feel like a lot of people going in to see a Demi Moore movie are expecting not this movie.
I want to know what part they walked out on.
Yeah, Robert Monroe.
What part did they walk
What
out
did
on?
it-
Did they walk out before the third act? Maybe like, yeah. When did they walk out? That's really because it does it takes its time to get really body horror-y.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, I think this movie was. I'm glad it exists. I really liked it. I don't know if I'll ever watch it again, but I may watch like making ofs and video essays about things that are referenced and intentions and illusions, because this is like a filmmaker's film. Like, I got a budget to do something crazy, and here's all my inspirations, kind of a thing.
Do you think it's saying anything new?
New?
Or is it just saying something we've heard a ton of times in maybe a different way?
I'll give you an annoying answer.
Please.
I don't think there's anything new to say in film, period.
That is a valid answer.
All stories have been told before. They all originate from the same three conflicts: man versus himself, or man versus nature. Sorry, woman, person versus self, person versus person versus nature. All stories have been told. It's not about doing something new. It's about juxtaposing aspects together or genres together to give the illusion of new. This does that. This takes tropes, real life experiences, societal norms, and then, mixes it in a blender with very, very common themes in genres that don't usually blend well together. And then also too, it's big budget trauma.
Yeah,
Yes,
it really is.
The end is mountains and fountains and fountains of blood gushing out.
Carrie.
Reverse carry.
It was a reverse carry. And the fact that is a live New Year's Eve performance, and all of the other dancers are topless.
Yeah.
With kids in the audience, as well as like this is being broadcast on like what I assume is like ABC or something, and they're all naked, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is a trauma movie. This is just wildly crazy with a giant toothless monster with four faces. Exploding everywhere. A boob comes out of her eye.
Yeah.
Demi Moore's face is screaming in the back of her.
The screaming Demi Moore face on her back.
And I also think it is
Awesome.
Of all the. I didn't love this more. Like, this isn't my favorite movie of the year.
No.
But of almost all the movies I've seen all year, maybe the perfect final shot and Fade to Black.
Oh.
I liked that. I was saying that on the walk here. I love when a movie.
like poetry, right?
Yeah, it like starts and ends in the same place.
But even like it not only visually but also narratively, it starts and ends in the exact same place, with her recapturing what that star signified, and then washes it. Like, it was just it is a perfect ending. So again, it's the Charlie Kaufman of it all. Do you remember Adaptation?
Yeah.
Love that movie. Yeah. It's a good one. But the whole thing of it is, you could do whatever the fuck you want, but if you wow them with an ending, they'll walk away happy. If it had just ended like in the audience and everyone covered in blood, and then like, it's crazy. Maybe not. But the fact that they had that last little bit of poetry, I'm like, all right, fuck you, movie.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah.
I also didn't find it to be super gory compared to some other stuff out there, says Sam. And then Pink says, I'm going to give a possibly controversial opinion. What? No. And say Cronenberg's The Fly remake is probably the best body horror movie ever made. I'd give it a shot if you haven't seen it, Sam. Pink? That is nothing controversial about that opinion at all.
I had no
That
idea.
is
My wife has never seen it.
100% facts.
Wait.
Pink
So
spitting facts.
Pink, Sam and she saw Sam. Correct me, but what was it? 2 years ago or last year? We watched The Thing together, and it was the first time you saw it with her.
That's another good one.
And she loved it.
So good.
So if she can handle The Thing, she can handle The Fly, and let's fucking go. I love that movie so much.
There is a scene that I always think of when I think of The Fly. There's a scene where that's amazing. Oh, that's gross. And then there's a scene where he is up on the wall, flying around, doing his fly bits, crawling on the wall, and he's like sort of bragging and being excited about his transformation. And I think he's talking to Gina Davis, and he goes, "What's that? I don't know." He's just like, he pokes out like a growth on his body. He's like, "I don't know." And for some reason, it always makes me laugh.
That's a good movie.
Yes, they left before the third act, says Robert Monroe Jr. The last time I saw anything like it was when I saw Blue Velvet on Christmas in New York City. The cinema was packed at the start, and there was only a handful of people at the end. I don't
Blue
think I've ever
Velvet?
seen Blue Velvet.
Not even that crazy. Well, it is crazy, but you know what I mean.
Oh, whoa. By coincidence, they just announced a new direct legacy sequel to The Fly.
Yeah. Which I forget the name of the act.
Face.
I forget the
Face.
I forget the name of the filmmaker, but they were basically bullied off of Twitter because they make AI films.
Well, good. Fuck them.
I'm just saying, like, that's
Well,
who's
sorry,
going to be
who-
doing The Fly.
That's who's doing it?
Yeah.
An AI person? Fuck out of
Wait, hold on. I am not saying that they're using AI to make a new Fly movie.
Oh, okay.
This person was bullied off of film Twitter for sharing and making and proponing or being a proponent of AI film. And
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy sucks.
I think it's a her.
Or fuck that person.
Fuck that person.
Yeah.
Old timey horror equals horror that wasn't a zombie child chasing someone. The Fly has a deep emotional horror / despair component to it that The Thing doesn't quite reach. It's true.
Baby, we're doing
They're
this.
both so good,
I'm
though.
looking up where we can watch The Fly.
If I had to, they're right on top of each other. They're right next to each other. The Fly and
Oh,
The Thing.
got it.
As far as remakes are concerned, like fuck body horror movies.
It's upside down now.
They're two of the best remake films of all time.
Young Nunk?
Youngkins?
Sorry, I started that.
Um,
Sam says she hearts Gina Davis so much.
Gina Davis is great.
I also
The
heart
Fly is on Hulu. Sam, we're watching it soon.
I will never not watch The Fly.
Yeah, it's,
Or The Thing.
Well, you know what? Also, Fly too. I kind of like.
Eric Stoltz.
Yeah. You were about to hit me.
I caught myself though. Also, I almost
Sit on your hands.
I almost did it to her earlier. I went like this
I don't
with my
like.
T-Rex arm.
I advocate for like emotional, like It's if
It's been an emotional day, and I've had drinks.
If we're always at 11, it's only noise. So you wait till like the moments where it's
Hence the
heightened.
new name for the podcast. Welcome to the noise, where it's 11 all the
where
time.
it's always at 11.
The arms. Don't get me wrong. The Thing is a top favorite, says Pink. So, real quick, I have a question for the both of you. We have discussed this character and the fact that she does not change a thing. She just gets sucked directly back into the same cycle. Do you like that about this movie? Do you wish that character had a realization at some point, an epiphany?
I wanted to mention something.
Yeah.
She runs into, so Demi Moore's self runs into that guy at the diner who's the older version of the young guy who gave her the substance thing. Yeah. And he says, he's like, it gets hard realizing you also deserve to live or something along those lines. And I was just like, ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yep.
yeah.
Have they has she started eating away at you yet?
Yeah.
I find myself just waiting for when he could be the better version of himself again.
Yeah.
There's definitely like a underlying story about apathy and waiting that I think is probably more interesting than just the body horror part. But it's there in good measure. Like even like it's in small ways. Like when young Sparkle.
Yeah. Elisabeth Sparkle.
Yeah.
Sue. Sorry, when Sue.
Oh, Sue.
Sue,
Yeah.
wakes up after like 2 weeks and notices there's just butt marks in the chair. And she's like, this bitch hasn't done anything with her life. She's just watching TV waiting for me. That's meh. Because I also, too, was wondering about the rules. Like, do they know what each one of them does? And I'm glad they don't.
Yeah. I kind of like that. But what you were saying, do we like that she never gets out of the cycle? I think to get the point across to the movie, yes. Like I said, I think it's that like women, when they're trying to play the game of getting male validation, you're not going to win.
Is it just male validation?
Or not? It's just, I'm picturing when Sue, she kills Elisabeth Sparkle, and then her body literally starts to fall apart at the New Year's Eve thing. Her teeth are falling out, her ears falling off. And so her teeth had just fallen out.
You pull at them.
And she runs into Dennis Quaid.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Dennis Quaid and just a mob of generic looking old white men. And they're like, and he's like, isn't she beautiful? I told you she was. Smile for us. And she can't smile because her teeth are falling out. And they don't even notice that anything's off or weird. Her ear is literally falling off and they don't know. And it's just it just seemed like she's performing for their approval.
Is the point of the movie, or is the actual on the surface conflict in the movie is her against the system, the patriarchy, the expectation, but less than halfway through, the conflict is actually her against herself. Is that the actual movie? The women, how they treat each other in this system. How you treat yourself in this system.
Yeah, both, I think.
Yeah. Because there's no room.
Because
for one, it's just better. I don't know.
Demi Moore's Elisabeth is about to terminate Sue and end the thing, and then she looks around at like who she used to be and the beautiful person she used to be, and she's like, no, you have to live because you're the beautiful one, basically. So I think it's you against yourself, really. And I
was also really
self-hate is perpetuated by the patriarchy.
Oh shoot, what was I about to say? Mother Hubbard, it's gone. Yeah, what were you just saying? I'm so sorry.
Elizabeth was gonna kill Sue, and then she brought her back because she was like, oh, you deserve to live because you're the beautiful one who has everything in front of you.
I do love at the end that she's like, what if I take it a step further and I just suck the stuff and then Do you know
the perfect version of the perfect version? Yeah.
Part of me was kind of wondering of like, oh, if she does that, will that actually fix everything? And instead it makes everything even worse.
Do you remember the movie Evolution with David Duchovny?
I remember that there was a giant butthole at the end.
Sure.
That's all I remember about that movie.
But the point of the movie being that like the whatever the stuff, it's a funny movie.
Is it?
I remember it being funny.
I was not a fan.
The perfect organism is usually the most simple.
Yeah.
And the more that you splice at it, the simpler it gets. So that's why the end has like this big perfect organism that's really just a giant amoeba.
Yeah.
Because it is the simplest, most perfect
organism.
So when she went to go split herself again, I was like, it's going to be just a blob. It's just going to be a monosyllabic, singularly motivated, just... And it was, and I was like, okay, that makes sense because you can't keep splitting the same thing. Like you
copy of a copy of a copy.
Yeah, it just becomes a blob of ink as opposed to like a new copy of the next thing. And herself was not the Matrix.
Yeah,
like I would be interested to see what happens if like the original maybe does it to themselves again. That wouldn't be the same result as a copy because she was cut off from the Matrix.
I'm also glad that they don't really delve too deeply into the science of this.
It'll fall apart.
Oh my God, yeah.
So quickly.
Yeah. Very Cronenberg in that way.
Yeah.
Self-hate is perpetuated by the patriarchy, says Sam. And Pink says, the thing was this big and you took it like a man.
Yeah. Thank you very much. That's from Evolution. Pink, do you like Evolution? It's such a dumb movie, but I like it a lot. Like it
reminds me of the movie.
It was this big and you took it like a man.
About
he had an alien up his butt and they had to probe to pull it out, and he's like, and he's like, you did really good, buddy. It was this big and you took it like a man.
Aww.
It's a gay joke, but it was like a positive one. It's weird.
Cool. It wasn't for me.
I'll find the clip. We'll watch
No,
it
I'm
together.
good. I'm good. So let us
wanna
know
see.
what you guys thought of The Substance. Email us at cultpopgo@gmail.com. Let us know what you thought. Pink says you didn't even know about this movie. You've been hiding under a rock. You didn't even know about it. So I kind of want you to check it out.
Yeah.
You can just sign up for a free trial, 7-day trial with an app called Mubi and just watch it for free and then cancel your subscription. So maybe do that.
Yeah. They also have Revenge on there.
Revenge is so much better than this movie for me.
Her other movie. And they also, I mean, if you ever wanted to watch the Bret Easton Ellis movies again, they have all of them. Rules of Attraction and what's the other one that everyone
American
fucking
Psycho.
loves? There you go. American Psycho.
Love
Which
that
Psycho.
You don't like that movie? You don't like American Psycho?
when I saw it in film school, I actually thought it was derivative and boring. I need to revisit it again. Yeah.
Movie. What did I say?
I don't know.
Did I say
She's-
Tubi? Sorry. Sam says movie. That's what I meant. That's what I said.
I didn't like it when I first saw it, and then I have
I
an
didn't like it
aversion.
on my first watch either.
I have an aversion
But I
to
love it now.
everyone in the fucking world telling me this is the best thing in the
Oh,
world.
this is not the first time this is
So
yeah.
like people
also-
worshiping it for the wrong reasons, not unlike Fight Club.
yeah, I was
Ooh,
just
yeah.
gonna
So
say
I,
that.
I just don't want to
It
talk
can be
about
a red
it.
flag movie.
Yeah, right?
Like, why is it your favorite movie?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So when they were like, "Oh, we're gonna remake it," I was just like, "Okay, cool, go
Oh.
for it."
Mubi. Thank you. You were just offering the spelling of movie. Thank you. So yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with us, guys. Next week we're gonna talk about
Heretic and maybe the Penguin.
the Penguin. God, that show is so goddamn.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us, Dylan.
Yo,
Are you interested in The Substance?
I am. I'm gonna go home and watch it now that I know that I can get a free trial of something and watch it.
Yeah.
Would have been nice to know before you reviewed it, but you know.
Hey, sometimes talent has to switch up.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we will talk at you later. Stay safe. We love you.
Love you.
Do.